Monday, as I watched the numbers decrease, I tapped my foot nervously on the gleaming marble floor. I'm going to be late, yet again. It wasn't my fault at all. This week, my hours have been exchanged with George's so that he could leave work in time to pick up his kids from school while his wife recovered from surgery. Instead of 8:30 a.m., I had to be in the workplace by 10 a.m. You'd think that would put me ahead of schedule. But, because I was finishing later, I attempted to get to the gym first thing in the morning. That was an oversight. It was either shower and be late, or forego the shower and be nasty and sweaty when I arrived. My employees, I believe, would prefer a tardy me than a smelly me. The fast tap of heels informs me that I am not the only one who is running late today. A side view shows her putting her windswept hair behind her ears while juggling a fully laden satchel bag and a briefcase with one hand and reaching for the call button on the wall with the other. I'd previously pressed it, it was illuminated, and hitting it again will not speed up the elevator. The numbers come to a halt on the bottom floor, and the doors open. I motion for the woman to follow me into the space, and she presses floor 23, one story above mine. I stand back and push 22. It's just the two of us, and I examine her without being apparent. Petite, with short black hair that spirals over her ears, which are adorned with a pair of AirPods, and a killer body accentuated by shining black shoes. I love heels, but how the heck did people walk in them? Hello, my name is Adrian. I don't say anything, although I wish I could. She gives me a half smile, followed by a slight nod of the head, to recognize my presence. I'm not sure what her name is, it may be Jane or Alice. Well, how about Elizabeth? Sarah? Eleanor is the name I'm thinking about giving her. As in the Beatles song. We're all lonely in here. Eleanor is my name, so, Eleanor, how long have you been working? I go through my memories of the building's residents. I believe floor 23 is a law firm. Jackson and Fuller are engraved on the foyer's official gold nameplate. How long have you been with Jackson and Fuller? It is my first day. I haven't seen her around, so it may be her first day, but she has a lot of paperwork in her briefcase. Well, I've been with them for 6 years. This girl is not old enough to have worked for them for 6 years. She appears to be approximately 25 years old. I've been here for 2 months conducting my internship. It is preferable. What about you? She'd inquire, and she'd be as interested in me as I am in her. I work as an assistant accountant on the 22nd floor of SP & Associates. I'd tell her only so she'd know where to find me if she was interested. I've been working there for 3 years. Do you like your job? Would she actually ask such a ridiculous question? Perhaps it was just small conversation. What else can two persons confined in an elevator ask each other? I wonder whether she's single, and I turn my gaze sideways, hoping to catch a glimpse of her fingers. I can't see anything, but I'll go out on a limb and say she's single. I notice her head nodding slightly to the beat of music that only she can hear. It's as if she's in her own little universe and I'm looking in through a window. What music are you now listening to? I'd want to inquire. She's so adorable that she'd be listening to anything cool and trendy. Possibly an unknown artist, or something jazzy or classical. She'd quote Miles Davis. Of course, as a Miles Davis lover, I inquire as to which record. Blue in color. She would, indeed, be listening to my favorite record. The ding of the elevator hitting my floor interrupts our talk, and I grin at her as I depart. Tuesday, despite the fact that I am officially late for work the next day, having skipped my morning workout, I wait in the foyer, expecting to encounter Eleanor again. Finally, I realize I'm being a moron. There's no reason she should be here today simply because she was here yesterday. When I push the elevator button, I hear the tip-tap of heels on the marble floor and turn my head. She's reappearing. Her black locks were safe this time, but her purse and briefcase were still swollen. Hello once more. I'd say it, but I'm still speechless. Hello, you. Her voice would be husky, or it wouldn't. I'm not sure if it's breathy or high-pitched. Yet it's a warm, throaty tone that reminds me of Scarlett Johansson. "Did you arrive on time at work yesterday?" I'd want to inquire. But how was I supposed to know if she was late or early? "Yeah, thank you, but I may be a little late today. I took a nap." She doesn't appear to have slept in. Instead, she appears clean, fresh, and very calm for a Tuesday morning. I feel that starting work at 8 a.m. makes it easier for me to be on time. Beginning later merely results in me waste time in the morning, and then I'm late again. I'd say something, and she'd nod in agreement. Indeed, it's difficult to get moving in the morning when you have extra time to kill. I would love to begin and end my day early. She'd agree with me. We're both morning people, in my opinion. Might we get together for a coffee before work? That wouldn't be weird at all. It's nothing out of the ordinary for two people who work in the same building to meet for coffee. I nearly open my lips to question her, but then I realize two things almost at the same time. I've never talked to her before, and this is my floor. Wednesday, I wait until the very last second to hit the button, my hand lingering in midair, but the click of heels on the marble floor never arrives. So I unwillingly touch it and wait for the elevator. I wait until the last possible time to enter before taking my lone seat in the lift. Just as the doors start to close, I hear the now familiar staccato tap, this time quicker and more frantic, as if she was fleeing. I push my hand between the closing doors, prompting them to reopen, and there she is, breathless and appreciative. She grins at me, and I return her smile. Our first genuine engagement, our first eye contact, our first word, "Thank you," she breathes faintly, and I barely catch the sound as it escapes her lips. I merely grin and nod, my words stuck behind my lips and unable to escape. "You're really welcome." "Are you running late again?" I'd ask if I could, I just can't seem to get my morning routine down pat. Her eyes twinkled ruefully as she replied, "Perhaps she isn't the morning person I thought she was. Perhaps it would be best to meet up after work for a drink and some live music. Every night of the week, I know of a location around the corner that has live jazz. The Duke is a nice, vintage jazz pub that is one of my favorite locations to chill and listen to music. We could reserve a table and split a bottle of wine with dinner." I take out my phone to check the website to see who is playing this week, and the elevator arrives at my floor. I go out, my gaze fixed on the webpage, and fail to notice the doors closing behind me. Thursday, I'm the one who is late this time. Whiskers had given me a gift, a half-digested, almost unrecognizable gift that I discovered just as I was preparing to leave the house. As a result, I missed the first bus and had to wait for the next one for 20 minutes. I dashed from the bus stop all the way to work. I'm fortunate to be fit and in the habit of working out. When I rush through the glass sliding doors, the foyer is deserted, and my heart sinks with sadness. She's not there, and I've missed her all morning because of my bloody cat. When I arrive in a feverish rush, the remaining elevator is about to close, and I sprint to reach it before it closes. The door bounces open as a little hand reaches out to grasp it. "Eleanor, there she is." As I go in, she smiles and steps back into her corner. My lips makes a sound that is supposed to be words of appreciation, but I don't think she hears them. I'm not even sure I knew how to speak English. Maybe it was a Neanderthal. If you ask my mother, I feel I am proficient in that language. It was my time to be late today, I'd tell her. My kitty. Even after 15 years of living the nice life, he's still a touch wild. He left a half-digested mouse in my entryway, which I had to deal with just before I left. Was it an excessive amount of information? Would she be frightened? No, she liked cats as well. She used to chuckle and tell me stories about her cat. Kitty is so overweight that she couldn't catch mice, poor love. She only eats the best gourmet cat chow that has been poached in spring water. Do you only own one cat? I'd like to inquire, wouldn't you agree that one is more than enough? She'd speak with a smile that showed how much she adored her cat. I adore Kitty, but I'm not yet ready to become a crazy cat lady. Do you only own one cat? Mr. Whiskers was a wild kitty I discovered in the rear of my parents' house around 15 years ago. He has me wrapped around his paw and lives a wonderful life with me. Cats are the same way. You must exercise extreme caution because they will take your heart in an instant, and it just took a moment for me to fall in love with my Eleanor, but the elevator stops at my floor and I walk out. Friday is my last day working the late shift. George's wife has recovered from her surgery, and I will resume my regular duty on Monday. I'm up so early this morning that I'm pacing restlessly around our building's lobby, sipping on the cappuccino grande I picked up on the way to work. I tell myself firmly that I will speak with Eleanor the instant I see her. I'm going to invite her to a jazz club, or to coffee, or to lunch, or to just exchange email addresses. Something. I walk the foyer some more, watching the minute hand on my watch approach 12. I must confront it. Eleanor will not be present. Maybe she doesn't work on Fridays, or maybe she just works part-time. Perhaps she is still studying while working on her internship and is in campus every Friday. I accept defeat and board the elevator. It shuts down cruelly. With no shout of "hold the lift," arrives, and I ride it quietly all the way to the 22nd story. It's the most peaceful lift I've taken all week. I am the last person in the office this afternoon because I have a mountain of paperwork to finish and sort out before returning the files to George on Monday. Everyone else has left, and Dave, Maria, and a few others have gone to the crack for a drink. I wasn't looking for noisy, rowdy entertainment. The Mike Freely Quartet was performing at the Duke, but I didn't want to sit there alone, so I closed the office and strolled toward the lifts. No spring in my step, just Friday tiredness. I hit the call button and waited, staring at the tips of my scuffed sneakers without looking at them. As the doors swing open, I shuffle inside the elevator like a robot. "Hello," the speaker says softly. "Have a rough week?" I raise my head and notice the other passenger in my elevator. It's Eleanor, and suddenly there's sunshine on a dreary day. Unable to talk, I nod. "Me too," she says with a smile. This is the longest talk we've ever had out loud. It's then that I realize she's holding a box, an A4 reflex copy paper box stuffed full of personal items. With its gleaming gold plastic, the object at the top attracts my sight. Tamara Blank nameplate. I swallow as my mouth opens, then shuts. "Tamara. This is my final day," she says. The doors on the bottom floor open, and she comes out ahead of me with a faint sad grin. I hear her clipped heels tap on the marble floor toward the sliding glass exit, but I don't move, and the elevator doors gently close in front of me. I can see my reflection in their gleaming metal surface looking back at me. "Look at all the lonely people," she says.